Welcome to this documentary exploring the behind-the-scenes story of Argentina's triumph in 1986. Before we begin, remember to support the video with a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to receive all our latest content. Maradona began his preparation 8 months before the tournament. Secretly, he hired one of the finest fitness coaches in Rome. The coach warned him that starting work so early would affect his performances during his first months with Napoli. But Diego had a clear answer. Napoli did not matter to him at that moment. Above everything, he wanted to become a world champion with Argentina. From then onward, Diego worked relentlessly to reach his finest physical condition for the opening of the World Cup. 2 months before the competition, Argentina's national team began its training camp under the eccentric Carlos Bilardo. Maradona left Napoli and traveled to Mexico, where Argentina established its first training base. Usually, Diego concealed everything he consumed inside his watch, especially cocaine. But this time, he had left behind in Naples everything capable of damaging his level. Even cocaine had no place whatsoever on his journey. Freed from the constant media siege following him everywhere, he left Italy to pursue glory for his country. Like every national coach, Bilardo could not satisfy everybody. From the opening day, the press expressed 2 major criticisms. The first concerned José Luis Brown, who had lost his starting position at Deportivo Español in Argentina's first division. The second concerned the captaincy given to Maradona, although Daniel Passarella, captain of Argentina's 1978 world champions, still remained in the squad. Bilardo tried to distance his players from this pressure and took them into Mexico's highlands for physical training. Yet the attacks were impossible to hide. Even Argentina's president criticized Bilardo and demanded his removal from the national team. But Captain Diego Armando Maradona's authority now exceeded even the president's authority. Diego threatened to leave the camp and abandon the World Cup if Bilardo was dismissed. He therefore successfully neutralized the first genuine crisis threatening his team's stability. Bilardo was almost pleased. From the beginning, he had tried to draw criticism toward himself to protect his players. In Argentina, everyone compared him with Cesar Luis Menotti, winner of the 1978 World Cup. Obsessed with routines and details, Bilardo gradually imposed his control. He said he had arrived first in Mexico, so he could leave last after contesting the final. He rebuilt the Albiceleste around a 3-5-2 formation, rehearsed daily until the players understood it perfectly. Nevertheless, another problem emerged: Passarella's extremely harsh challenges against Maradona during training. The former captain seemingly wanted to eliminate Diego and reclaim the armband. Bilardo repeatedly asked him to calm down, without success. More seriously, whenever Maradona was absent, Passarella encouraged his teammates to rebel against the coach and their new captain. He attacked the 3-5-2, claimed Bilardo understood absolutely nothing about football, and relied solely on Maradona. According to him, if this comedy continued, Argentina would watch the World Cup on television. Some players shared his opinion, whereas others rejected his words. The dressing room divided. Maradona fortunately overheard part of these discussions and organized a meeting with his teammates, with Passarella present. Accusations immediately erupted. Passarella claimed he had seen Diego taking cocaine during the camp, behavior he considered unworthy of an Argentine captain. Maradona called him a liar. Before all his teammates, he admitted consuming numerous drugs in Italy, but insisted he had left his final dose in Naples before traveling to Mexico to become world champion. Then, he accused Passarella of having maintained a relationship with a teammate's wife during 1978. Diego asked whether an Argentina captain could commit such actions. The meeting ended in chaos, while poor results deepened the crisis. Argentina drew 1-1 against Club America's reserve team. Yet, Bilardo appeared extremely happy, although his team had created virtually no chances and scored only through a penalty. Nobody understood his satisfaction. Following this match, he made a strange decision, moving the camp from Mexico, where the World Cup would take place, toward the Colombian mountains. Maradona's teammates faced two Colombian second division teams there without managing to score a single goal. As always, Bilardo declared himself fully satisfied. Passarella, meanwhile, continued provoking Maradona. Before the cameras, while the players prepared for a photograph, Diego suggested wearing a Boca-colored cap and Passarella another in River's colors, to reject hatred between supporters. Passarella mocked him and preferred a cap showing Argentina as world champion in 1978. He reminded everyone that Maradona had not participated in that triumph because Menotti dropped him at the final moment. Furious, Diego later attacked a journalist who questioned him about the usefulness of matches against modest Colombian clubs. Maradona had always protected Bilardo, but this time his patience had finally ended. Inside his room, Diego confronted his coach. He reminded him that he had constantly defended him, then announced that his teammates and he wanted to leave Colombia immediately. 1 week before the World Cup, they could not understand why they remained far from Mexico. Bilardo nevertheless managed to calm Maradona. Despite the initial anger, the coach was delighted. Finally, he had obtained what he had sought for several weeks. He believed Argentina possessed the world's finest players, but lacked unity and a true leader. Watching Maradona's pain against the media attacks and his determination to defend the squad, he understood he had discovered that captain. Yet several disruptive elements remained. Bilardo, who was also a doctor, reportedly decided to treat them in his own fashion. According to a story circulated through the Argentine press, he allegedly caused Passarella's food poisoning to remove him from the team, only 3 days before the World Cup began. Whatever truly happened, the former defensive pillar could not participate in the tournament and followed it from the hotel. He was replaced by José Luis Brown, who had played no official match for 6 months. To encourage him, Maradona gave him an expensive watch he had admired at the airport. Diego told him, "If you play badly, you will return it. But I know you will keep it forever because, in my eyes, you are the finest defender worldwide." Driven by this renewed spirit, the team returned to Mexico. Beforehand, Bilardo and several Argentine stars visited a famous Colombian sorcerer. They performed the requested rituals and drank a strange preparation. Bilardo then declared himself certain that the Albiceleste would win the World Cup. After leaving Daniel Passarella at the hotel, the Argentines departed to contest their opening match against South Korea. Inside the team bus, the coach issued an extraordinary instruction. If they won, everyone must memorize his seat, his luggage's position, and the songs heard during the journey. Every detail would need repeating before the following matches. Even the security officers assigned to accompany them, Tobias and Jesus, remained unchanged throughout the entire tournament. Bilardo did not even change his shoes during their stay in Mexico. Everything had to lead toward the title. At the Estadio Olímpico Universitario, the quest began for the second World Cup in Argentine history. Before kickoff, Maradona addressed his teammates. "The problems of recent weeks now belong to the past. It does not matter who starts or who remains on the bench. Today, we are all inside the same boat. We have only ourselves. While millions of people expect victory during every match, we must rise to the occasion. Remember that today, schools throughout Argentina will be closed. Children will not play, they will watch you playing. For all those reasons, I ask you to leave your hearts upon the pitch and win this match." He concluded, "Vamos, Argentina!" Inspired by these words, Diego's teammates produced an excellent performance and won 3-1, with Maradona delivering 3 assists. In their second match, against reigning world champions Italy, the Italians opened the scoring, but Diego restored equality for Argentina. The match eventually ended with the score standing at 1 goal apiece. Against Bulgaria, the Albiceleste finally reached its finest form and won 2-0 thanks to Valdano and Burruchaga. Argentina consequently finished first in its group. To understand Bilardo's obsession, one must know that he prohibited his players from changing shirts. The kits, worn during victory over Korea, were washed after every game, then worn again. The coach feared the round of 16 encounter against Uruguay because Argentina now had to wear its second kit. Furthermore, Uruguay excelled completely in the art of defending. Bilardo asked his players not to rush themselves and to remain perfectly focused. The Uruguayans were capable of remaining inside their penalty area all week to reach the shootout. With immense concentration, Maradona's teammates entered the field. During the 41st minute, Pedro Pasculi scored the match's only goal and qualified his country. Afterward, the journalists who had strongly criticized Bilardo and Maradona finally acknowledged the team's quality. Some even claimed that Brown was playing better than Passarella during the 1978 World Cup. But Diego forgot absolutely nothing. He reminded them of their mockery throughout the preparation, while expressing his happiness at seeing the whole Argentine nation now standing behind its national team. While he spoke, an English journalist reminded him that their next opponent would be England. 4 years earlier, the Falklands War had claimed the lives of many young Argentines. The journalist asked whether this match represented an opportunity for revenge. Maradona answered diplomatically, "It was merely a football match. Those who had killed the young Argentines were neither Gary Lineker nor the other English players. He therefore asked them to discuss football with him, explaining that he knew nothing about politics. But what made him genuinely angry was his teammates' childish behavior, discovered during the night preceding their quarter-final. Several players had already packed their suitcases so they could leave immediately after the match. The majority apparently believed Argentina would be eliminated. Maradona exploded angrily, awakened the entire hotel, and ordered everyone to return their clothes into the wardrobes. He reminded them they had come to Mexico to conquer the title and would not leave because of England or because of anybody. This reaction further increased the group's motivation. Before the match, Diego delivered another speech. "They are the people who killed our relatives, our friends, and our neighbors. Remember the young Argentines who departed for battle and never returned. I ask you to think about them and devour the English. History will forever remember this moment. Make the Argentine people proud to have achieved their revenge upon a football field. Show absolutely no mercy. I want to see their hearts scattered across the grass." He finished again by shouting, "Vamos!" His teammates entered with exceptional energy, but Maradona was the man who wrote history through 2 unforgettable goals. The first with his hand, the second after beating nearly the entire English defense. Following his hand goal, he asked his teammates to embrace him and celebrate immediately, ensuring the referee suspected nothing unusual. The Albiceleste qualified by winning 2-1. After the match, Diego refused to admit he had scored with his hand, still fearing that the result could somehow be overturned. During the semi-final against Belgium, genius struck once again. Maradona scored 2 magnificent goals and sent Argentina into the final against West Germany. José Luis Brown, the player from Argentina's domestic championship who would have watched the World Cup at home without Bilardo and Maradona's confidence, opened the scoring. Jorge Valdano, Real Madrid's striker, then scored the second goal, but the Germans responded within only 8 minutes. Karl-Heinz Rummenigge first reduced the deficit. Then Rudi Völler equalized. The ending approached, with the score level at 2 goals each. Maradona then told his teammates, "The Germans are physically exhausted. We must not allow them to breathe. We can score before extra time. I am not yet tired. Come on, demonstrate everything you know how to do. We have 10 minutes remaining to become world champions." Diego was not lying. Thanks to the training started 8 months earlier, he remained physically ready. He delivered a perfect assist toward Jorge Burruchaga, who scored Argentina's third goal. Diego Armando Maradona was finally world champion. He had dominated the tournament through his talent, but had also united a fractured team, protected his coach, given confidence to his teammates, and carried the weight of an entire country. Mexico 1986 was therefore not merely the story of extraordinary goals, it became the story of a captain who transformed crises into energy and guided Argentina toward the summit. If you enjoyed this video and want us to continue continue producing this kind of documentary, support us with a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell so you receive every one of our forthcoming videos.